Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about file input output, how to read and write text file, and how we're using like a list or to deal with the file, how then we check the errors and adapt some GUI applications. Okay, so let us start. So we're gonna do something like this. Let me show you what we are going to do. So we have application like this. So I can load the data. This data exists in the file in the system. We can write here, or I can add a new file, for example, my name, add now this data adding here. Now, if I go to see the file exists in my documents, C#, this is the file test. I have a file test. I open it now. I don't have the file, the last information in the list. So we have this file here, information here, but we don't have here. Last name Steve Jobs. So last name Steve Jobs. I'm gonna close the file. You cannot deal with the file, by the way, when the file opens. So I'm gonna do save now. File saved. Okay, so I'm gonna go open the file. I found my last name. The last information is my file information. So let us go to coding this one. Okay, let's start. I'm going to the file, new project. Okay, on this form of application, click next. I'm gonna call, for example, file input output. For example, whatever name, do something comfortable with. So I'm gonna create something called list box. So the list box where I can add my information, file information here. Then I'm gonna create a button here. And this button is responsible to load the data. I'm gonna right click here. I'm gonna go, then in the text, I'm gonna call load data or load data files. And from the name, I'm gonna name it, so to avoid confuse, PT and load the data or read the data. So this is bottom should be read the data from the file. So I have a file, I create a file, I have a some first name, last name, first name, last name for some things. I'm gonna delete the last one, my name, so we're gonna add it together. Okay, so I have this for name, save. So this file. So first of all, I'm gonna go with in the top here. So in the top, because why? This function and this other function. If you do something here, if you declare something, anything here, that will be public and accessible on all sub functions. So first, I'm gonna do the string file path. So file path will be equal. The way we read the file path, two way. In the example, this one, I'm gonna do at, then like this. Okay, then I'm gonna do semicolon. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, open this, click here, and Control C. I copy this one. I copy the path. Control C. For example, whatever you want to do there. So I put this one here. This is the path. Then what? After the path, I get backslash like this. Then go again in the folder and press rename. For example, more option here. Show more options. Rename it. So why? I'm gonna copy. I believe you copy it. Highlight the name and copy it. Then click anywhere here. Then go to put this one. So you need to put the path. After the path, you backslash and you put the file name. Now, file path is string. It carry this path. Okay. This one technique. We're gonna have maybe later another technique. So also when I'm gonna create the I need the file. I need to create the file into the list. So I'm gonna create a list. So I have a list. The data come from file is string. Okay. So I'm gonna create a list of string. I'm gonna call, for example, list or list of names or list names, names. Then we call new list string. So this will be when the list string. Okay. Now After that, we're gonna go to in the bottom now. If I click here, double click here, you're gonna bring you in this one, btn load data click. So I need the data now. So we have something called file dot. I don't have a file dot here. This is should become like a um, highlight, like this color, like a light greens. So why? Because I need to use the library that responsible read the data from the file. The library called using system dot input output. So this is the input output. Now I'm gonna see the file become blue. So the file dot what? Dot read lines, read all lines, or read lines, read lines. Then this, if I close this one, it need the what? It need the path. See, string path. So I'm gonna put the path. What the path? I have the path in the file path. I'm gonna copy this one. I'm going to the file path. Okay. So now I read the data. This file data, where should be go? So it should be input this data after read the file. Put it where? Put it in the list underscore names, which is our list here we created. But we have an error. Move the mouse on top. They told you all lines of file lines are result query cannot implicitly convert collections immutable to the string. Okay, so why I need to convert this data as coming as a string, and the list of name is container or collections. Okay, so I'm gonna click here to list. See, it coming first one to list, then this one, this one, this one. Okay, so now I put the data now and the list name. Now I need to read the data. Now the data of files, if the files now, all information from the file go to the list names. Now from list names, I need to go put the data to list box now. So again, what we do, reading the data. This lines, one lines, yes. File, read lines. So it gonna read the data from the files, this path to the list name, to the list. Now we need to put the data in the list box. So to do that, we need to creating something called binding source. How binding source? So we have a something called binding source. Binding source. We did this in previous example. If you watch this, if you have watched the videos, PS equal new binding source. So what the binding source? Binding that responsible to take the data. This is the connection. The variable will be connected between list and container or controller of list box. Okay, so the binding source will be BS. Now, then what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna say BS. Okay, this variable with data source connected with what? With this list names. All right, now we have a variable pointing to the list names. Okay, next step, list box one that we have, this one dot what? Dot data source. Bring the data source for so this box have a data coming from source. Which source? Yes, correct. PS. So PS connected the list. So the base like become like a third party, connect with list names and publish this data in the list box. Okay. After that, last things, if you remember that we did this in the last video, BS dot reset binding. What mean reset binding? Reset binding, whenever you put the data in the list box, it tell you if the data change, for example, if data have a change, you read the data as a text. Is data after you read it change? No, not changing. So if not changing, do false. You have to do true or false. Okay. Now let us run this one and see what happened. Okay. So load data, here we go. So we have a first name, last name, first name, last name. So load data work fine. Now here we read the data by these buttons and we have this settings. Okay. Now the second things here, we need add new data. For example, I have a text box here and I'm gonna create two actually, first name for last name, last name and for last name. Then I have a create button. for adding and another one for saving. So we need to add the data, then we add saving. Okay, so I have the those two. Okay, so this will be called add, and I'm gonna go change btn add, btn add, and this saving this will be btn save, and the name will be save to file, or save, just a save, you know, we know the file, or save data. So now in the add, so if I double click in the add, what the code should be in the add. Okay, so we have list names. We go to the in the list names dot add. Okay, dot add. Let me open the file very quick. This one, I'm gonna copy the one of those. I'm gonna tell you why, then I'm gonna close it, just to be lazy a little bit to save time. So I do like this. So first name will be, we're gonna add the first name, then like this, then oops, I'm gonna do here like this one. I'm gonna click this one, then I go here, oops, then add, then text box with the data in the text box one dot text, then plus add last name, add, then text box dot text. All right, so this will be go to the add. Okay, now again we put this list, so we need to show now in the list, we need to show this data in the list box here. We're gonna put the same things here. We're gonna go boom, copy those 3 lines and put them here. Control V. Let us see now it's work or not. So see, load data is data. I have my name Tariq and Al Taib and add. Here we go. Oh, I added 2 times. So I have here this one. But if you open the file, still we have nothing here because just we put it there. Just we put it in the list. Okay. I click save, doesn't work. So I'm gonna go to the save now. In the save, I double click here in the save. So we're gonna do the following. So in the save, it's simple, easy way. Just 2 lines, okay, or 1 line actually. File. Okay, write all lines. Then what? We have a file path. Okay, and we have list names. So meaning, go to the file that exists in this path, put the list names into the list. Put the list names, the list in the file. Okay, so let's see what's happened. Actually, I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna do message box dot show, such showing file saved or saved, done or saved. Okay, me run this. Oops, I have error. I catch very quick. So I have this one. Now start, load data, Tariq, Taib, add. Here we go. If I open the file, Tariq not exist anymore. So what I do, save here, saved. Now I go to the open the file again. I should find my name. Here we go, Tariq Al Taib, last name. Okay. So if I add another one, Bob Sam, for example, add, then save. Saved. I'm gonna go open the file one more time. I found Tariq and Bob and Sam. All right. Thank you so much. Doing this code and save it. Thank you.